And welcome back to another episode of the White Sox March to October. And we've got another exciting way to kick off an episode today because Grant Taylor had himself a successful fast track down in the minors to wrap up last episode. So he bumps his overall all the way up to a 77. And now after calling him up, we get a chance at another player lock to get his ratings even bigger of a boost. So let's not waste any time, then let's hop into Grant Taylor's MLB debut. This is exciting because this is a guy prospect wise that I've had my eye on since pretty much we started this. I know I mentioned it a couple of times last episode, but there were a couple times he popped up in trade offers and I didn't want to trade him away. For some reason, I just had some gut feeling that he was a guy that I'd want to hold on to, and it seems like he's finally starting to prove that. The one thing that was a little disappointing though is in the fast track, even with getting the boost, being successful, his potential didn't go up. At least it didn't go up a full letter grade. Who knows on the back end, maybe he could have gone up from like an 82 to an 86 potential, and it's just not something that would show me. But this is the big one now, to get that jump from like a 77 up to maybe an 82, 83 if we're lucky. I mean, he'll get himself into contention for maybe even a spot in the rotation. And we're going to start his MLB career with a lazy pop fly to center field. Wow, I'm just now noticing they're ranking our prospects at the bottom. Are they saying Jimmy Hernandez is our number 3 prospect, but he's the 13th prospect in all of MLB? We might have a decent farm system then if our guys are ranked that high. Oh, and there's Grant Taylor across the bottom. Apparently he was the 37th prospect overall in MLB. I wonder if that's before or after his fast track boost. I'll take a line out. That's lucky. And there's the first MLB punch out for Taylor. Slider low and into the lefty. Good pitch, good spot, good first inning. Ooh, and now there's another strikeout to start the second. Maybe we're getting that strikeout pitch working. I don't think he got enough of that to do damage. Yeah, that's just lazy out to center, not even to the track. Worried me a bit off the bat. Okay, Ronnie Mauricio would not go away. That's a bit deeper than you'd want to see. Still a fly out though. Robert's still running it down. I actually didn't even notice until just now that we have a 4-run lead also. Man, we are not getting guys chasing all of a sudden. We got those 2 punch outs back to back to end the first and start the second. Now nobody's chased anything since then, but we'll blow it past him kind of right down the middle. That's not where I wanted that pitch. Oh, look at Vlad on the diving play at third. I didn't know he had that in him. I mean, it's a little early to say that certain things need to be saved, but that type of play still saves a certain thing. And I don't know if anything's going to be able to save that one. Oh, he tried though. That was actually closer than I thought. That was not a bad pitch either. That slider was in off the plate and he still was able to pull that. There we go, though. Out in front of it on the changeup, we got Lindor. I think that's what, 4 punch outs through 3 innings now, 1 over the minimum. Oh, and now we're getting him looking on that fastball up and away. I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I feel like from AAA to now, even if it was only like a +1 boost to the velo for Grant Taylor, I feel like everything's kind of coming in a little quicker. And that's a nice rollover out in front of the change. There we go, man. We are really finding that strikeout pitch now. It seems like Grant Taylor's hitting his stride. Man, that has been a really good spot for that changeup to lefties. We got Lindor way out in front of it and a couple rollovers now. It's definitely taking a few more pitches to sit some of these guys down than I'd like. 61 pitches here through 4 1/3. Well, that helps. 1 pitch, weak pop fly. That's not where that was supposed to be. But you know what? 1 mistake in what, 65-ish pitches through 4 1/3? We can live with that, especially with a 6-run lead. Oh my God, what are we swinging at? I missed that spot again. That time out of the zone. I was not expecting a swing, I'll say that. I would be surprised if we don't end up down in the yellow energy before this inning's over. Because yeah, that, you know, it's starting to get down there. It definitely is. Okay, there we go though. Get that rollover. I think ever since I said Grant Taylor's found the strikeout pitch and is hitting his stride, he hasn't gotten a strikeout. And I mean, again, we have a 2-strike count. We're throwing that slider. We want a punch out, but we'll take the weak contact in and out if we can get it. And that's just over Colson's head, man. That's going to be another extra base hit. So we've only given up 3 hits total, but I think all 3 now have been doubles. And all 3 have come with 2 outs, so I guess that's the best spot to give up a double. But there we go. Well, yeah, there we go. Okay. So actually, we didn't drop into the yellow energy that inning. We kept it quick enough. Back out there, though, we now have 11-0 lead. I think this one's pretty safe. Well, just because it's safe, let's not give up something like that. Yeah, I felt like I could tell by the sound of that one that it wasn't staying back in the yard. Okay, we are now into the yellow after giving up that home run. And now we're giving up back-to-back home runs. All right, Skipper, it's time. Get your debuting guy out of there before he feels bad about himself. 6 innings, bunch of strikeouts, 2 runs allowed. It's a good stat line. And nope, they're gonna leave me out there because of course they are. That's how it works in these player locks. Okay, come on, man. What? How are we going so good for 6 whole innings and now we've given up 3 home runs in a row? We can't still be in that. We are still in the game. What are we doing? Okay, well, no more fastballs because I think all of those came on the fastball. That one is safe, right? I mean, there cannot be a bigger sign to get a guy out of the game than back-to-back-to-back home runs and then a warning track flyout. Why are we still pitching? It is nothing but hard contact all of a sudden. The switch flipped in an instant. Please get me out of this game before we do bad enough with Taylor that they don't give him a boost. Like, what's going on? If we give up a bomb to Beatty, I don't know if we get a boost at this point. Come on, man. We gotta get him swinging on that. I have nothing anymore. They figured him out. They finally did their scouting. Why are we still in the game? This might be, I've complained a lot of times about the CPU manager in pitcher player locks. This might legitimately be the single worst manager leaving the guy in I've ever seen. How are you going to leave your guy making his MLB debut in, who got through 6 scoreless, and then now he's struggling? The more he struggles, the more that's what's going to stick with him, and he's going to forget about those 6 good innings. Please be 2. Please get us out of this inning. Colson, let's... Okay. 99 arm from Duran really helped there. We do get out of it. Maintaining, only giving up the 3 runs. We can't come back out for the 8th. This will be the worst thing I've ever seen if we do. Unbelievable. I mean, I know we're up now 15-3. The game is not in jeopardy. It's not about the game. I don't think we're gonna get him. Yep. And look at what you did now. Is that still Grifol? I think that's still Pedro. Look what you did, Pedro. You left him in and then you let him take one off the shin, and now you're still leaving him out there after taking one off the shin. When do you call it quits? Another chance at a double play, though. Okay, I mean, at least the damage control is kicking in. And we are now officially out of energy. So this will be interesting the rest of the way. Oh my god, we actually got him to swing at that. All right, I mean, hey, that better be how it ends. But I have a feeling we're going to be seeing the 9th inning with how this one's gone. No, we're not. Okay, mercy does still exist, even in a limited capacity. But why is Tanner Scott coming in this situation? Why are we wasting an outing from our back-end reliever when we're up as big as we're up? And he gives up a couple of runs while he's at it to ruin his numbers. Yeah, we only get a 2+ from that. Feel like we were definitely on track for a 3+ without those back-to-back-to-back home runs. But the fact that we got anything means we got the boost for Grant Taylor. We got another boost for him. He should be up to a low, maybe to mid 80s if we're lucky. Ooh, and I like seeing that. Colson Montgomery with a 2 home run day. Maybe that's when he finally gets going. All right, so we do get one more fireball for our momentum. We don't have a ton of momentum, so hopefully we have a somewhat quick turnaround here, and we can't sweep the Mets. I feel like we've been doing a lot of this lately, a lot of 2-1 series wins. We haven't really been breaking out on many long winning streaks. All right, and I'm actually glad I noticed this week, because I think my original plan for this guy, this is the top ranked center fielder, but I don't have him scouted at all. I'm guessing I didn't scout his region because he might have been the only one from the West that had anything going for him. So I think that was the plan all along, was I was going to wait and scout him individually. So I'm glad I remembered, because he could be something good. Whether or not he drops down to pick 30, that's what's going to take some luck, but we're going to find out about him. And then we've got another center fielder here to scout that if he pans out to what we think he'll be, we have him ranked 23 when he's only ranked 102 overall. And then just another region swap for those relief pitchers. So we move on. We actually lost the series. Wow, hang on. We lost the series to, I don't know why that's so shocking to me, but losing the series to the Mariners, we don't need to be doing that. We've got another shot at a trade though here, and this is a pretty easy no for me. Nats want to give up Elijah Green for Jimmy Hernandez, Kana Matsumoto, and Pierce Johnson. Kind of interesting why they'd want to make that trade. Maybe just thinking back to me controlling the Nats, I know they did have multiple center field prospects, so maybe Elijah Green's the one they're okay with selling off, but I don't want him. We don't need him. I mean, we are scouting center fielders. I want to draft a center fielder, but we've still got Luis Robert for a couple years, so we don't need a guy who's already in the MLB. That would just overcrowd things. Still got two more options though. The Phillies, they want to give up, man, they really want to give up Aiden Miller. It is the second time they're offering him to me, and actually he's, I think, 2 overall higher than he was last time, but I feel like the asking price is way too high. I mean, they want Jimmy Hernandez, but they also want 2 other prospects. You know, both of these have their faults, but I don't know, for a guy like Aiden Miller, only a 70 overall, his hitting isn't in that great of a spot yet. I'm good on that. We don't need that. We can pass on that. So the Mariners, they're our last trade. We're still trying to get a backup catcher so that Francisco Mejia can take a game off. Just 1 day off is all he wants, and it seems like that's exactly what the Mariners are going to give me. And not just that, but look who it is. It's the return. It'll be the return of Max Stassi. He is finally regressing, but look at what he's doing again as a backup catcher there out in Seattle. 311 batting average with a 400 on base. I think we make this trade. We're not giving anything up. We're giving up 2 D potentials. Obviously, they're not going to be anything. The only thing that this might throw a wrench into is the fact that somebody's going to get sent down from the big league squad. I'm guessing it'll be Lazaro because he's the lowest overall. But hey, maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that just means he'll have another chance at a call-up opportunity sometime down the line. So yep, we're accepting this trade. It's obviously not a flashy one, but it's necessary. I feel like you need a backup catcher. Even if Mejia is not doing that bad this year, actually, he's kind of turned it around. I feel like you need a backup catcher. So there we go. Max Stassi has been brought back. The legacy continues. And actually, we might get a player lock with him. Yeah, that's immediately. We waste no time giving Mejia his day off. So it was Lazaro that got sent down like I thought, but we finally have a backup catcher. Look at what Mejia did, the trooper. 71 games played straight. No days off, and he's putting up career numbers. 271 average, 333 on base. He's hit 8 bombs, which is that already a career high? It tied a career high. So you've earned your day off. Just 1 though. And now let's see about Grant Taylor. Let's see what his boost was. Wow, he only went up 3 overall this time. Maybe you don't, you know what? Maybe that's all it is. Maybe the higher overall you are in the type of situation where you can get an attribute boost, the less you actually get boosted, because, you know, we've had the games with 60 something overalls, they go up +6. Grant Taylor went up, I think, a +5, and now only a +3. But he's still an 80 overall. He has still transformed the type of prospect that he was. He's not quite there, I think, to take a starting spot from anybody, but we will keep an eye on our starters. I mean, 3 of them have the snowflake icons. They're all putting up pretty solid numbers, though, although Brandon Woodruff, this is far from where he was when we checked in on him, and he had like a 188 ERA. While we're kind of talking about the rosters, though, in the lineups, I did make a change because I was looking at some of our stats, mainly our splits here, and I'm going to show you. We have been destroying left-handed pitching this year. I mean, look at these numbers when I sort by average. 3 starters batting over 400 against lefties, and then a bunch of guys batting over 300. The one guy struggling, though, is Colson Montgomery. Only 9 for 47, batting 191. When I looked at this before, he was actually batting 167, so he has improved it a little bit. But I actually took the step of benching him against left-handed pitching because not only was he playing bad, it was affecting his overall. It was affecting his attributes going down against lefties, and we don't want that. So I have Colin Houck as our starting shortstop now against left-handed pitching, and I don't know if Montgomery's going to keep heating up, keep bringing those numbers up. It might not take too long for me to stick him back in. I'm also going to make the change here since Jimmy Hernandez, man, was popping up in every trade that would have been good. I'm adding him to our untouchables. I still had Colin Houck there, and I feel like you don't really need MLB guys on the untouchable list. But yeah, I'm just tired of seeing so many trades with Jimmy Hernandez involved, and then that makes me not want to make the trade. And I guess also while we're here, I should mention I removed all the catchers from our targeting list. We're not targeting catcher position anymore. I don't really have any targets. All I still have here is position and pitching prospects. We've seen some trades like that pop up. Maybe we'll continue getting those, but that's really all I'm interested in at this point, if even that. Our team is so loaded right now that I don't even know what moves I would want to make. But let's get this player lock out of the way with Max Stassi here. I'll be totally honest, I really don't care. I really don't care how he does. All he is a backup catcher to give Francisco Mejia a day off here and there. So I really couldn't care less if we go 0 for 5 with 5 strikeouts. But hey, man, that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. Let's see what we can do with him. And we'll draw a walk. They're scared to face him. They know what White Sox Max Stassi is. Oh my God. I don't think I moved the PCI up. We had another good at bat going though. Another 3-2 count. Stassi's making him work. All right, at bat number 3, we have a 4-2 lead now. That's all I really care about is getting the win. And unless I do something with Stassi, I don't really have much say in it, but I'm not going to do something with Stassi. That's extra bases. At least I'm going for extra bases. Yeah, we're in there. We're in there nice and easy. So when I don't care, and not that I don't try, but you know, I'm not sitting here sweating bullets trying to succeed. I draw a walk, I have another good at bat, and now I get an easy double to the gap. With all the struggles I have with hitter player locks, that's almost more frustrating than if I would have just done nothing. Robert might have driven us in. Oh yeah, he did. Is that going to drive in 3 is the question. I think it will. Yep, Eloy's just in there. All right, we've broken this one wide open, all because of the Max Stassi double. Oh, and that one stayed in the zone. How about that, though? We worked it to another 3-2 count. That was a good pitch, though. That was a good spot. Man, we get another at bat. It's 11-6. Oh, and we're striking out again. So I don't know, man. I mean, we did get the walk. We did get the double and the run. But I've also struck out 3 times. So I don't know how much credit we're going to get for that. I would assume we're going to get a plus. Yeah, we did. We got a 1+. Okay. So a success and a fireball for the win. That's about as much as I could have hoped for. I would like to have a game where we can get a decent amount of fireballs though at once, because we've gone a couple weeks now without a ton of momentum on our side. Already handled this screen. So we should use this momentum. There we go. Actually a sweep, and now we're losing to KC and scouting. And I know time's winding down, but I want to leave both of these guys here. I want to make sure if McGrath drops to our pick, which I don't know if he will, but I want to make sure we know as much as we can about him. Edmundo Macias here, it does say he's hurt. I don't know if I just missed that last week or if maybe that was something that was uncovered. I don't know, how much that does to affect him. I can't really remember if I've ever drafted an injured guy and then noticed a difference from it, but we have him so highly rated that if he's on the board late and I take him, even if the injury affects him a little bit, it's kind of like whatever, I feel like that'd still be a good pick. Actually, though, I think I'm going to find somebody new. 80%'s plenty. I know we were scouting some catchers earlier, and I can't say I quite see myself taking this guy. We also don't fully know about him, but that first pick, I don't really have somebody for certain in mind yet, so maybe he's a little bit better than he appears, so let's see. But we're kind of rapidly closing in on the draft here. So you know what? I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it there for this one on the gameplay. I know that wasn't much. We just had 2 player locks, but I want to make sure we can line up the episodes and have the draft at an ideal time. And I feel like ending now and we can get one more episode before having to get into the draft, I feel like that would be a good plan. But I don't want the episode to be over yet, because I was thinking during that last game, I was like, I really haven't spent too much time yet looking at the rest of the league. So for those of you guys interested in that, I want to look through the standings and then a little bit of league leaders, and then I'll let you go. So obviously we know what our division's looking like. The East, it's kind of a tight race here. Orioles and Yankees out front. Yankees are, whoa, they're down to the 26th ranked team, and they're still decent though, so that's interesting. In the West, it's the Rangers out front for now, but the Mariners and Astros are still above 500 and hanging around. We're gonna have a pretty tight race for the wild card. It looks like 4 teams, or I guess 2 teams tied for the 3rd spot, and then a bunch of guys right there. Look at all these teams within 6.5 games. Over the NL, we've got the Phillies, which they like just had the same record we did, so they must be on a bit of a rough stretch, or at least they were close to our record. Braves have definitely turned their season around though. I do remember looking at them a little earlier, and they were below 500. Over in the NL Central, you got the Reds out front, Pirates and Cardinals in the mix, and then in the West, it's pretty much down to just the Diamondbacks and Dodgers. So yeah, looking at a little bit of league leaders is actually a little disappointing, because I looked at this a bit myself after the last episode, which is why I wanted to show you guys in this episode, and then I forgot to until the end. But when I had just looked, it was Vlad and Eloy at the top of the batting average leaders, so they must have cooled off a bit. We got them 2 and 3 though in hits. Vlad and Fletcher up there in doubles. Homers, we don't have anybody above the top 5, but Vlad and Eloy tied at 23 for that 5th spot. And then Ezekiel Duran actually, and Luis Robert Natai at 21. Ezekiel Duran is having quite the season, man. He's already at a career high in homers, and he's not even halfway through the year. Might have to explore bumping him up in the lineup a bit. Do we really not have like any league leaders though in offensive categories with how good our team's been? Just scrolling through here, yeah, we don't have any league leaders in any offensive categories. We've got a lot of guys in the top 5. How about pitching though? Is this going to be a different story? I know we won't be up there for saves. Crochet is nowhere near 27. I think we're just winning too many games by too much. ERA, we don't have the top guys. Zach Gallen is top 3. Mason Miller as a relief pitcher is throwing enough innings to qualify. Okay, we do have the league leaders when it comes to strikeouts though, and we have the top 3. Are they the top? No, they're not the top in baseball. Cease has got that over in the NL, and looks like Skeens is finally here doing things. And we also have Jordan Montgomery leading all of MLB with the fewest amount of walks allowed. That's a good stat to lead in. Zach Gallen's leading in whip, and then Montgomery and Schuster 4 and 5. Schuster is having a good year. Glad I went ahead and gave him a chance. And then it's Montgomery actually at the top of the pitching war list with Zach Gallen 2. Batting war, the highest we have is Vlad, but that's actually good to see, because that's been a problem for him, is he hasn't been able to accumulate as much war as he should because of the whole position thing. I know I've talked about it before, but I think him playing 3rd, but his war being weighted as if he was playing 1st, so all these errors count kind of extra. But I guess he's fielding much better this year, so that hasn't had as much of a negative effect yet, so he's actually able to finally put up some war. So yeah, I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me, but I feel like with how good we're doing, and it's not like our record is bad by any means. I mean, I don't even want to imply that I'm disappointed in the record. I just almost feel with the amount of incredible individual performances we're having this year. And I mean, look, we have a team batting average over 300, slugging of over 450 with an ERA of only 3.12. I just feel like with those numbers, we probably could be on an all-time pace right now. And maybe we are. 52 and 24 with a 684 winning percentage is definitely insane. I just feel like we could be even more insane. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up with that. Like I said, just trying to pace ourselves to get the draft happening at the right time. We don't want to accidentally start the draft at a bad time, and yeah. So as always, guys, make sure you do me a favor, and if you enjoyed today's episode, hit that like button for me. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel also if you enjoy this series and want to keep seeing it. But thanks for watching today, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will see you next time.